الكريم. We will attempt to address this subject not in the form of a lecture, but I will constantly be asking questions, so the closer you are to me, the more you're in the firing line. And also invite your comments as we go along. That's because we do not have permission to have a public lecture tonight, but we do not need any permission from anyone to have a dars. Our topic is entitled Ashura in the Qur'an. And you know Ashura or Yawmul Ashura is the 10th day of the month of Muharram, when we all fast, the Masnoon fast. What does the Qur'an have to say about Ashura? That's our topic. And since the Shahada of Sayyidina Imran Hosein radiallahu ta'ala anhu took place long after the revelation of the Qur'an, we are not concerned with the Shahada of Sayyidina Imran Hosein and Ashura. Our subject is Ashura in the Qur'an. Nor are we concerned with any other events which may have occurred in history on this day, and of which no mention is made in the Qur'an. That is not our concern. So one last time, our subject is Ashura in the Qur'an. Before we begin, let us take careful note of the fact that the Torah, as it now exists, Tawrat in Arabic, makes no mention whatsoever of Ibrahim alaihi salam traveling to Arabia. No, never went there. Makes no mention of the baby Ismail alaihi salam being taken to Arabia, and that the trial of the sacrifice took place in Arabia. According to the Torah, it was not Ismail alaihi salam, it was Ishaq, and the trial took place in Jerusalem, Palestine. According to the Torah, when the mother of Ismail alayhi salam, Hajar or Hagar, when she and the baby were taken away, they were taken away in Palestine, not to Arabia. No. According to the Torah, Ibrahim alayhi salam never built any house of Allah in Arabia. According to the Torah, Ibrahim alayhi salam never established the Hajj to that holy house. And therefore the Arabs have nothing to do, have no link whatsoever with the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Nothing in the Torah to declare such. Now let us examine the authenticity of that Torah. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha said, hadith of Sahih Muslim I believe, that the Arabs used to fast on the day of Ashura before Islam, and that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam used to fast with them on that day. The question that we ask is, why were the Arabs fasting on the 10th day of Muharram? The second thing that we notice is that although the Torah declares that the trial of the sacrifice took place in Palestine, and the child of the sacrifice was Ishaq alaihi salam. The Arabs for thousands of years have not only been fasting on the day of Ashura, but they have also been performing the Hajj, in which there is also the Qurbani, and sacrificing an animal to commemorate the sacrifice of their father Ibrahim alaihi salam. How do we explain this? And thirdly, the Torah declares, up to this day you can still find it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Ibrahim alayhi salam to circumcise. And that circumcision, male circumcision, not female, circumcision, male circumcision, was the symbol of the covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you belong to the deen, the true religion that was sent by Allah, the deen of Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is the symbol. Yet apart from the Jews, the only people on the face of the earth who have practiced male circumcision for thousands of years as a religious obligation are the Arabs. Our question is, how do you explain this? Our answer is, it cannot be explained so long as you hold on to that Torah as the truth. The only way it can be explained is if you are prepared to accept that the Torah was rewritten and all the references in the Torah to Ibrahim alayhi salam going to Arabia and establishing the religion in Arabia were all removed. The Qur'an confirms that he went to Arabia. He makes dua, Rabbana inni askantu min dhurriyyati biwadin ghayri dhi zar' inda baytika al-muharram. O Allah, I have left part of my family in that barren valley where nothing grows in Arabia. The Jews fasted on the day of Ashura because they declared this is the day which commemorates that day, the 10th of Muharram, when Musa alaihi salam was ordered to strike the water with his rod, and the waters parted. وَإِذْ فَرَقْنَا بِكُمُ الْبَحْرَ, and then Banu Israel crossed to safety, فَأَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ, and then when Pharaoh and his army attempted to cross, وَأَغْرَقْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ, and the destruction of Pharaoh and his army occurred before the eyes of Banu Israel. وَأَنْتُمْ تَنْظُرُونَ. This is the reason why they fasted on this day. And the reasons why the Arabs were fasting on this day, even while the Arabs were worshipping idols, was because this was a part of the religion of Ibrahim which had survived. The reason why they were sacrificing an animal for thousands of years, even when the Jews are not doing it, and even while they are worshipping idols, is because this is a part of the religion of Ibrahim which had survived. The reason why they were circumcising, Abu Lahab was circumcised, Abu Jahl was circumcised, Hmm? The reason why they were circumcising, male circumcision, and no other people on the face of the earth were doing it other than the Jews, was because this was a part of the religion of Ibrahim, alaihi salam, which had survived. And so the evidence is there on the ground in history that you changed the Torah. Having said that, now let us turn to Ashura in the Qur'an. And Ashura will be the event of the parting of the sea for Musa alayhi salam. The Prophet said sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam that there were 124,000 prophets. And yet in the Qur'an, which is the last revelation from Allah, there are only about 24 whose names are mentioned. And of those 24, the overwhelming majority are prophets who were sent to Banu Israel. My question is, why has Allah done this? Makes mention of only about 24 out of 124,000. And then selects only, most of them, only from the prophets sent to Banu Israel. Question number 2. Of these 24, most of whom are prophets who were sent to Banu Israel, one prophet, one, commands more space in the Qur'an than all the others combined. One prophet. And his name is Musa alaihi salam. One prophet commands more space in the Qur'an than all the other prophets combined. And the question I want to ask tonight is, why? So let me drink some water while you are thinking about these two questions. Bismillah. Okay, since Raus is in front of me, you get a chance to be the first to answer. Muhammad, you next. Okay, he's still thinking. Still thinking. What happened? You didn't drink Teh Tarik before coming? Anybody? Who would like to try? Yes. Hassan Mahmood. Because they are the chosen people of Allah. Okay, anybody else? This is evidence that Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam himself did not produce the Qur'an. Good answer. Yes, good answer. Anything else? Because? No. Musa alayhi salam did not live 1,000 years. The only prophet we know of whose age is mentioned in the Qur'an is the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, who preached for how long? 950 years. Yes?